And welcome back to Electric Bike Mark. On this video, I'm going to be riding the King Bull Light Rider 2.0, as you see it right there. This is a 48 volt, 750 watt nominal motor, and it's a folding e-bike. And why I wanted to specifically tell you the wattage of the motor is because that's the topic for today. First of all, this is a Class 2 e-bike and Class 3. So why I want to talk about this today is the California AB 1557 that continues to advance. This bill is advancing, as I mentioned, as of April 2026. California Assembly Bill 1557 is advancing to tighten electric bike regulations, aiming to lower Class 1 and Class 2 assisted speeds from 20 miles per hour to 16 miles per hour. And they're also explicitly capping the motor at 750 watts peak. The bill targets high-performance throttle-capable e-bikes or e-motos by lowering speed caps and imposing stricter, clearer wattage limits, 250 watt continuous for Class 1 and Class 2 e-bikes. A grandfather clause allows bikes manufactured before January 1st, 2027 to retain their current classification if compliant with prior law. So the speed reduction will be Class 1, which is pedal assist, and Class 2, throttle allowed e-bikes with a maximum assisted speed reduced from 20 miles per hour down to 16 miles per hour. The power cap defines an electric bicycle as having a motor not exceeding 750 watts of peak power. Now this bike has nominal 750 watts, so this would definitely fall under the illegal category, which is absolutely crazy to me, but anyway. So basically Class 1 would then be pedal assist only that ceases at 16 miles per hour. Class 2 would be throttle allowed that ceases at 16 miles per hour. Class 3 would stay at 28 miles per hour, but requires helmets and permanent visible speedometers. And we did mention about the grandfathered clause. That'll probably be something in the future to talk more about that. But it doesn't look good on bikes that are going to be coming out in 2027. So let's hop on and talk about it. So basically, this law would put bikes that are Class 1 and Class 2 would basically be like the EU laws in Europe. That's what they get, 250 watt motor and top speed of 25 kilometers an hour or 15.5 miles per hour. It'd be the same thing here. And you know, I thought, the way things are going, I thought that we could see I mean, this could still be, this is just California, but I think if this all goes through, then I don't know. Because you got California on one side here that's proposing all this, and then you got New Jersey at the other side of the country that's proposing, or they've already passed the bill to make all e-bikes motorized vehicles, requiring license, registration, insurance. But so now you got California that's limiting the motor size and the speed limit. So, and I've said this before, it's like this vice is closing in on us, you know. But what I thought was coming, and could still be, I thought we would eventually get a nationwide law, kind of a universal law that covers you know, the whole nation, everyone, rather than communities or states. Just have it right across the board so we can all understand it. But I thought we were going to see more, where I could see where they were going to move toward possibly eliminating a throttle altogether on an e-bike, not allowing them at all. This isn't my choice. This is what I thought they were eventually going to come up with. But then keep the maximum speed at 20 miles per hour. I thought that's where we were heading. But after this latest, you know, bill that's going through in California now, all bets are off. I really don't know where we're going exactly now, because you've got, like I say, New Jersey, who's basically calling all e-bikes a motorized vehicle. And then you've got California here that are trying to completely reduce the speeds down. But I don't really understand, because the class 3 remains, right? But the class 3 remains, but the motor can't exceed 750 watts peak. So I gotta tell you, in all the bikes I own now or have owned in the past, I haven't had one single bike that has a power maximum wattage peaking under or at 750. I mean, geez, even the electric Light 2.0, which is definitely a less powerful bike, still peaks at over 800 watts. So that makes that bike illegal too. So let me know in the comments if your bike peaks over 750 watts, because I bet you almost every single person that answers this is going to say, yes, my bike peaks over 750 watts. Pretty hard to not peak over 750, especially when the nominal wattage on most bikes is 500, if not 750 watts. Yeah, there's some bikes out there that are only 250 and 350, but majority, no, they're pretty common to have 750 watts. But yeah, I just can't imagine yet. It's going to be interesting, very interesting, in a bad way, in my opinion, to see what 2027 brings. And I mean, 2027 is not that far away now. We're almost halfway through this year, 2026. And then even more than 2027 will be that transition, I guess, where especially new bikes, where people are just going to have to get used to it, I guess. And then even more will be 2028 will be even more interesting, because by then the laws will definitely be in place, I think. And we'll know where we're at for sure by then. But geez. I mean, this could drive sales down for the future, I think, possibly. And I don't know. It's like, it's kind of to me, it's like this big roulette wheel, and we're spinning it every once in a while, like say every month or something. And then we're just going to see where it lands, and we'll pick that law. Like, how much real thought and planning is going into all this? Or are they just throwing numbers out there, you know, just at will, whatever sounds good and whatever sounds safe, we're going to go with that. I think if the laws keep going the way they are, we're no longer going to call these electric bikes, have to give them a new name. And I know people badly want to call them mopeds and motorcycles and everything else. Big difference between, especially motorcycles. It really bugs me when people call my bike, a couple of my bikes, they're motorcycles, when they're not even close to a motorcycle. I think this guy's going to let me get by him or her. So let me know your thoughts. It's kind of frustrating. I'm over on this side because I'm going to turn. There's a guy behind me and I don't want to be in his way. Don't want to hit the squirrel. So here's my recommendation to anybody out there. If you're thinking about buying an e-bike and you don't have one yet, or you're thinking about buying another one, you probably or possibly already own one. If you're thinking about getting another one, get it now, especially if it exceeds, which I think all of them almost do, the 750 peak. But let me know your thoughts on this. What do you think? And do you think it's going to affect the e-bike industry? Here's my personal thinking. The only way it's going to affect out there's two things that are going to cause this to affect like a big dent. One of them is enforcing the laws, because you can talk up the laws all you want, but if they're not getting enforced, not much is going to happen. The second thing is, I think riders out there, if you've already bought a bike, here's the other thing, is the bike purchasing. If you bought a bike before 2027, because that's when they can change, then you're just going to keep riding your bike. Like, look, I'm not going crazy speeds. I'm in pedal assist level 2 and I'm going like 14, 15 miles an hour. That's it. So I'm staying actually right within this would be the legal speed you can actually go. And the only difference is my wattage is too high. Yeah, this bike would be illegal because it's a class 2/class 3 e-bike, but the motor is a 750 watt nominal. Really crazy stuff. Honestly, I think all of this should have been thought out years ago, before e-bikes became as popular as they are today. There should have been something done a long time ago if they didn't like what was going on. I mean, did they not see this taking off like it has been, you know, like, and become a big pretty big industry, actually. You know, it's funny too. Now, don't get me wrong, every accident is bad, whether it be car, bike, what have you. They're all bad, right? We don't want to see anybody getting hurt or killed or whichever. But every time you hear the news and there's a bike involved, like an electric bike, it seems to me like they exaggerate because it was an electric bike beyond what they would do in an accident with a car involved, or two cars, let's say, because this could be a car and a bike. And they never seem to blame the car. It's always the e-bike that's the blame, right? And then they'll go into the spiel about, we got to crack down on these. They're dangerous and what have you. But the car is okay though. And there's thousands of car accidents every day. And when they give the numbers for e-bike accidents, the number is not that great, to be honest with you, for how many bikes are out there. So I kind of think they just exaggerate these numbers, because I think somebody out there just do not want e-bikes around for whatever reason. I think that dog was happy to see me. Too happy, but he didn't bark. He just wanted to come and run beside me. But hey, let me know your thoughts on all this. Why is it happening? What do you think the reasoning for? I know some people are saying it's because e-bikes are taken away from sales of vehicles, which I think they are actually, because they're cheaper to run. And they're more fun to ride around. You can't drive a car on a trail. I just hope they don't completely ruin the whole e-bike community that we've built up so far, because I think there's so many good things that come out of riding an e-bike and having an e-bike. I think if they just crack down on the reckless riders, you know, like anyone that's riding in a reckless way, be it wheelies, speeding, maybe going through stop signs, stop lights, that kind of stuff, jumping ramps. If it's all on the road, if you do that stuff on a private lot, then that's fine. That's up to you. If you hurt yourself, then you know, so be it. You know, you're doing it to yourself. But if you're on a road doing that, then you're putting others in danger. You know, if you, like I say, if you want to danger yourself, that's one thing. But when it comes to other folks, they don't want to be put in that situation. So do that stuff on the private land. But I think I would like to see where it is after that, if they crack down on the reckless riders and see where it's at. But no, they just got to immediately do other things. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you for joining me today on Electric Bike Mark. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, thank you very much. Just hit that subscribe button. If you want to be notified as to when the next video comes up on the channel, just hit that notification bell. And if you want to leave a comment on this video or any others that you've seen on the channel, please do leave a comment in the comments below. Again, thank you for joining me on this video, and until next time, be safe everyone, enjoy your e-bikes, and keep your wheels on the road. See you later.